Hi everyone, FPLMattDay here, and this is my Game Week 27 latest news part 2. Before I start, please subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Be sure to like the video and get your comments, thoughts, and any questions in ahead of what's going to be another jam-packed game week. Thanks to all those subscribers and watchers that watched part 1. If you missed that, you can head to the videos on my channel and watch part 1. And part 2 is an update after this morning's or last night's, depending on where you're located in the world, FA Cup games and latest news that we now have available. So I'm going to start off with my first thoughts, my first part of news, and it's going to come from the team I support, Tottenham Hotspur. We have injury news and injury updates. And for those managers that were planning to sign Pedro Porro or still have Pedro Porro, it doesn't look like he's going to be ready for the Crystal Palace game this weekend. Still suffering an injury, has yet to train this week. Spurs obviously had a game off in game week 26, but he hasn't yet made it back. But it's positive news for Udogie owners. He is in training. There's been no problems with his injury so far. So at this stage, he's in contention and is likely to start against Crystal Palace. So if you've got Udogie, keep him in your teams. And if you're planning to bring him in, then there's a high chance he plays this game week. My next piece of news is following on from part 1 of the video. Dominic Solanke. So I spoke about his MRI scan. There hasn't been too much groundbreaking news since my last update, where I told everyone there was an MRI scan in process for Solanke, and he may be out of game week 27, which then affects double game week 28 as well. But right now, there has been a little bit of news that suggests Solanke's going to go in for a scan, but it's not actually as bad as first thought. He's not feeling any pain in the knee. It could just be a precaution, maybe to see if he needs something done long term on that knee. So fingers crossed we get some good news about Dominic Solanke before deadline. So the next big news, and this affects game week 27, 28, and 29 and onwards. And this is big news for all these game weeks because it's all about what chips are people going to play, what strategies are people going to play. And that is because there was the second part of the FA Cup games last night, and we saw a number of teams go through and others that were knocked out. So there's actually some big announcements that are going to be made. And we're going to start off, I'm going to share screen, and I will talk about some blank game week updates and some double game week updates. So I'm going to share screen, and I'm going to say thank you to All About FPL. What a great page. Give him a follow if you don't already. So here we are. There were teams that were knocked out of the FA Cup last night, the likes of Nottingham Forest. We also saw Luton Town go out the night before as well. There are other teams that went through: Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United. So all of this impacts FPL. Brighton obviously went out, but Wolves went through, which has also made a lot of problems going into these future game weeks. But here is a quick roundup of what has happened. So Luton Town will double in game week 28 and have a fixture in game week 29. So if you're looking at bringing in a Luton player this week, it's not a bad idea. Even if you don't want to play him, you could bench him. Then he gets 2 games in 28, and he also plays Forest at home in game week 29. We've got Fulham versus Spurs in game week 29. So if you're looking to bring in Son this game week, Richarlison, James Maddison, Udogie, who I just mentioned, they will feature now in game week 29. They play Aston Villa away in game week 28. Also, then West Ham play Aston Villa in game week 29. So the likes of Areola that a lot of managers have, Ollie Watkins, and probably Matt Cash, who has just stunk around in my team for so long now. He continues to hold on. We've got Burnley, Brentford, for those that have Charlie Taylor, such as myself, for those managers that brought Ivan Toney in. Some big news there. I also spoke about Luton. We've got Nottingham Forest, Morgan Gibbs-White. There's options there. Would I free hit in this game week? I'll probably do a free hit draft for this game week down the track. But in my own head, I'm not sure this is a game week worth free hitting for. It really does depend on your team. Right now, my initial thoughts are if you've got 7 players or more, I probably wouldn't free hit this game week because outside of probably Spurs, maybe Ivan Toney for Brentford, every other game looks like it could be quite close. Even Fulham Spurs is a derby. Fulham are doing really well this season, so I can't disrespect them there. Then the next news is game week 29. There is teams that will blank in that game week as well. So you've got the list there below: Arsenal, Chelsea, City, Brighton, Newcastle, Palace, United, Sheffield United, Wolves, Bournemouth, Everton, and Liverpool. So that will play a part in your transfer in game week 27. If you're overloading on Bournemouth players for double game week 28 and you've got no chips left, or you're not wildcarding or free hitting in that game week, you probably want to beware because they won't play that game week. Just like your City triple ups and your Liverpool triple ups as well. But that is the full list on screen. Teams that blank in game week 29 and confirmed FPL game week 29 fixtures. My last initial thoughts on these double and blank game weeks. For me, I like the idea, like I said before, 7 players or more, and you don't need a free hit in game week 28. These blank fixtures and these blank teams below, we're going to see 2 double game weeks. Very likely game week 34 will feature a number of these teams. Game week 37 will feature a number of these teams, which is why I'm liking the free hit in game week 34. The wild card probably the following week in game week 35, which gives you a couple of weeks to plan for game week 37 and give you an extra transfer up your sleeve as well if there is any injuries leading up to that as well. And then for say someone like myself, you've got a bench boost, I can then use that in 37, or triple captain if you've still got that as well. That's kind of where I'm at with it, and that's what I personally like that strategy at the moment. But everyone's got their own way and their own strategy of playing FPL. So there you have it. That is my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the video. As I mentioned before, if you haven't checked out the channel before and you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Go check out part 1 of this video. There is some other news on there. Also, give the video a like and get your comments in as well. I'm FPLMattDay, everyone. Thanks so much. Good luck for Game Week 27, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.